What is the fundamental conflict between Elon Musk and his various allies, Meta being one of them, and you guys? Like, what is the disagreement fundamentally about?
Look, I don't live inside Elon's head, so this is a little bit of speculation. Elon definitely did a lot to help OpenAI in the early days, and in spite of all of this, I'm very grateful, and I think he's just a sort of legendary entrepreneur. He's also clearly a bully, and he's also someone who clearly likes to get in fights. Right now it's me. It's been Bezos, Gates, Zuckerberg, lots of other people.
Sam Altman, thank you so much for coming on Honestly.
Thank you.
The last time we spoke, and I know you've given a zillion interviews since then, but it was in April of 2023, and it feels like a world away. ChatGPT had just launched, and people were just at the very beginning of trying to figure out, like, in the abstract, what this technology was and how it might transform their everyday lives. And now, sitting here in December of 2024, ChatGPT is a household name. So is OpenAI, and of course, some of your competitors are too, like Perplexity and Gemini and Claude. Average Americans are using these tools every day. Everything from math tutoring to debugging code to drafting emails, and it's very, very good at doing that. Tell me about how ChatGPT and I guess AI technology more broadly has changed since we last spoke a year and a half ago, and whether or not it's where you expected it to be today or further along.
So I think there's two different things when you talk about. One is how much the technology itself has changed, and that has gotten way better. I mean, if you think about the AI we were excited about back in April of 2023, it was so primitive relative to what we have now. And the things that the technology is capable of are pretty mind-blowing to me. But even more than that, the rate at which it will continue to get better over the next year. And if we came back in another 18 months and talked about what it can do, I think it'll feel like as big or maybe even bigger as a gap from April 2023 to December of 2024, as projecting that same amount of time. I guess it's more like 20 months going forward. The other thing that's happened is it's really integrated into society. Like back then, it was still a curiosity, something maybe people had heard of. People really use it now a lot for like a lot of their work, their personal lives. I've never seen a technology become widely adopted this fast. Not just as something people like dabble with, but something that people like really use in all the ways you were talking about. So that part of the adoption curve happened much more quickly than I thought. I expected the technology to happen quickly.
Give me a sense of, like, how are you using the tool that you have helped create in your daily life? Like the way that most people I know are using it, Tyler Cowen and lots of people who are like passionate early adopters, it almost seems to have like replaced Google for them. And it's just like a much, much deeper Google. Is that how
That's
it's working for you?
I use it in all sorts of ways, but the newest one, a few months ago, we released search integration. And now ChatGPT can search the internet for kind of real-time information. And of everything we've ever shipped, that was the one that felt like it doubled my usage all at once. And since then, I mean, I must have still used Google for something, but I can't remember what it is.
Wow.
And I switched ChatGPT to be my default search in Chrome. And I have not looked back. The degree to which that behavior changed in me for something that was really deeply ingrained. And now the fact that, like, when I remember the way that I used to search, feels like kind of, oh man, that was like a pre-iPhone kind of equivalent. That's the sort of like level of shift that I feel about it. That's been the most surprising change to me in the last few months, is that I do all my searching now inside of ChatGPT.
What do you call it? Do you call it searching, or is there a verb in the way that Googling's a verb?
I still call it search. I mean, I just like other people say like I chatted it, or I ChatGPT.
I chatted it?
People say I chatted it. A lot like young people seem to just only call it chat. But I would say I just use search.
Sam, in September, so just a few months ago, you published this manifesto on your website predicting the emergence of superintelligence in the next few years, or as you put it, and memorably, in the next few thousand days. Explain to us what superintelligence is. Tell us how we'll know if it's actually here and how it stands to change people's lives over the next decades.
One thing that I use as a sort of my attempt at my own mental framework for it is the rate of scientific progress. If the rate of scientific progress that's happening in the world as a whole tripled, or maybe even like 10x'd, the discoveries that we used to expect to take 10 years and the technological progress that we used to expect to take 10 years, if that happened every year, and then we compounded on that the next one, and the next one, and the next one, that to me would feel like superintelligence had arrived. And it would, I think, in many ways change the way that society, the economy work. What it won't change, and I think a lot of the sort of AI commentators get this wrong, is it won't change like the deep fundamental human drives. And so in that sense, we've been through many technological revolutions before. Things that we tend to care about and what drive all of us, I think, change very little or maybe not at all through most of those. But the world in which we exist will change a lot.
Okay, well, Sam, one of the reasons we wanted to have this conversation with you today is not just because we want to hear about the ways that AI is going to transform the way that we live and work, but because you're in a very public battle right now with your original OpenAI co-founder, Elon Musk. And I think it's safe to say that most listeners of this show will vaguely know that there's a conflict between Elon Musk having to do with this, one of his companies, one of his many companies, but they're certainly not following the nitty-gritty details of the various lawsuits and of the conflict more generally. So I want to try and summarize it for you in the most fair way that I can, and then you'll tell me if I've gotten it wrong or where I've overstepped. So OpenAI begins in 2015, and it starts as a nonprofit. And in a blog post introducing OpenAI to the world in December of that year, you wrote this: OpenAI is a nonprofit artificial intelligence research company. Our goal is to advance digital intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity as a whole, unconstrained by a need to generate financial return. Since our research is free from financial obligations, we can better focus on a positive human impact. And this was a huge aspect of the brand. Then, fast forward 4 years, in 2019, OpenAI moves to what it called a hybrid model with a for-profit arm that got $1 billion investment from Microsoft in that year. Since then, Microsoft has poured something like $13 billion, it might be a higher number, more into the company. And Elon was one of the co-founders, as I mentioned, since the beginning. But his relationship with the company soured over time because he disagreed with the shift that I just described, the shift from this nonprofit model to a hybrid model. And he eventually leaves the company and steps down from the board. And that takes us to this year, in which Elon has sued you and OpenAI on several different occasions so far this year. And he has given many interviews and posted countless amount of tweets or X's or whatever we're supposed to call them about this conflict. All of the lawsuits claim that you were in some kind of contract violation by putting profits ahead of the public good in the move to advance AI. And then last month, and this is the most recent development, Elon asked the district judge in California to block OpenAI from converting to this for-profit structure. Okay, that was a mouthful. Did I summarize it properly? And is there anything crucial that I left out or
you
misstated?
You summarized it properly, but it was Elon that most wanted to convert, not even convert, it was Elon that most wanted OpenAI to be a for-profit at one point and had made a bunch of proposals that would have, and also things like OpenAI being part of Tesla, but mostly just create a new for-profit that he was going to be in control of. And, so other than that, I think a lot of the summary there is correct. I have a bunch of thoughts and opinions on it, but as a statement of facts, that was otherwise mostly correct.
Give us the 10,000-foot version. What is the fundamental conflict between Elon Musk and his various allies, Meta being one of them, and you guys? What is the disagreement fundamentally about?
Look, I don't live inside Elon's head, so this is a little bit of speculation. Elon definitely did a lot to help OpenAI in the early days. And in spite of all of this, I'm very grateful. And I think he's just a sort of legendary entrepreneur. He's also clearly a bully, and he's also someone who clearly likes to get in fights. Right now it's me. It's been Bezos, Gates, Zuckerberg, lots of other people. And I think fundamentally, this is about OpenAI is doing really well. Elon cares about doing really well. Elon started and now runs a very direct competitor that's trying to do exactly what OpenAI does. And I'll point out is a structure, it's like a public benefit corp. And I heard Elon has majority ownership and control, and seems like a reasonable thing he would do. I think a lot of the press has been misreported. We're not like the non, even if we go through with any of the conversion ideas or evolution ideas we're talking about, it's not like the nonprofit goes away. The nonprofit doesn't like stop being a nonprofit and becomes a for-profit. We've talked publicly about maybe we evolve our current LLC into a PBC, but anything we do would strengthen the nonprofit. The nonprofit would continue to exist, would continue to serve, hopefully better serve the same purpose. And the overall mission of the company that you talked about, which is develop this incredible technology, do it in a way that we think is maximally beneficial to humans and get it out into the world for people. We keep doing that. I'm incredibly proud of our track record on doing that so far. People, as you were saying earlier, use ChatGPT and love it. There's an incredible free tier of ChatGPT. We lose money on it. It's not ad supported or anything. We just want to put AI in people's hands. We continue to want to deploy this technology so that people co-evolve with it, understand it, that the world is going through this process it's going through right now of contending with AI and eventually AGI and thinking how it's going to go. And everything we're doing, I believe Elon would be happy about if he weren't in control of the company. He left when he thought we were like on a trajectory to certainly fail. And also wouldn't do something where he had like total control over OpenAI. But I think it's like a little bit of a sideshow, and the right thing for us to do is just keep doing incredible research, keep shipping products people love, and most importantly, like keep pursuing this mission of AGI to benefit people and getting that out into the world.
For someone who's just sort of tuning into this topic, why is it important, Sam, that OpenAI has a for-profit arm or converts in the way that you've been talking about? Why is that essential to your growth?
When we started OpenAI, we thought it's hard to go back and remember how different things were in 2015. That was before language models and chatbots. It was way before ChatGPT. We were doing research and publishing papers and working on AIs that could play video games and control robotic hands and things like that. And we were supposed to get $1 billion, but ended up not. We thought with $1 billion, we could make substantial progress towards what we were trying to do. As we learned more and got into the scaling language model world, we realized that it was not going to cost $1 billion or even 10, but like 100 billion plus. And we couldn't do that as a nonprofit. So that was the fundamental reason for it.